I get the distinct honor of bringing up our first guest speaker, and it's Miss Maura Torkildson. Woo! Worked on that. She's our first guest speaker of the day. Maura is an author. She's an intuitive healer, spiritual mentor, and creativity coach. Like that all mixed together, that's beautiful. So I love the combination. I'm sure we're in for a real treat. She is passionate about empowering women to identify with their inner wisdom, to connect with their intuition, to really trust themselves. And from there, you can create books and so many other beautiful, creative pieces in your life. Her life's path has helped her build her skills for her true calling as a healer. So she's here today to share with you trusting your inner muse to become the star you are. Let's welcome Miss Maura.
I love how I got to know you all before I actually came up here to speak, and that sharing was just absolutely beautiful. Thank you, and thank you all for coming out today. Once upon a time, in the distant past, or maybe in the future, or no, now, women stood with their arms raised in celebration, receiving into themselves who they are, knowing that they are like a tree with roots that go so deep that they reach all the way to eternity and the divine source of creation and everything. And standing strong in their trunk, which was the seat of their awareness and their strength, with branches that reach out to the edges of existence. I invite you to stand and receive into yourself who you are. Raise your arms in celebration. Feel your roots that go all the way down to eternity. Feel the strength in your trunk and your branches that reach all the way out to the edges of existence. And receive into yourself your own divinity, because we are all connected to that divine source, and we are all part of that divine source. It's beautiful to see you all standing there and receiving that, and trusting that it's true. Thank you. So, I want to share one thing with you today, which is something that I learned through sometimes a somewhat difficult path. Years ago, I had a calling to join a women's spirituality program, and I felt that calling deep in my heart. And then I went through a very difficult time, because one of the things that happened was I had the calling, I heard the calling, I was fully aligned with it, and then my ego came in and took over. I wanted to be famous. I wanted all these things. And I kind of forgot about the calling part. And it came to this moment of total devastation when nothing was working out. And on that day, I went up and sat by a tree, and I cried, and I wept. And I railed at God. Why did she abandon me? And then I realized that she wasn't the one that did the abandoning. It was me, because I wasn't listening. And I went to my backyard, and like Rebecca, one of my greatest teachers was my cat. He liked to come sit next to me in the yard, and I looked over at him, and he looked so present. And I could feel his presence in that moment. And a question came, and that question was, wow, what would it be like to be so present like that all the time? And that question sent me on a quest. And I met a man who changed my life. It wasn't my husband. This wasn't a romantic relationship. It was a mystic. His name was Peter Kingsley, and I worked with him for 5 years, and he showed me how to be aware. And it was the greatest gift I've ever received in my life. So I want to share with you a poem. And the funny thing about this poem is there's a way in which I knew this before I met him. I wrote the poem before I met him. And so a part of me already knew. And I was just meeting someone who could help me open the door. Ecstasy is a luminous drop of water pausing on my shower door, by which the morning sun embraces, igniting iridescent sparkles which pierce my soul. Rivulets of water glide down my throat, caressing my breast as they spill over my nipples and splash the floor in a rhythm and dance all their own. A moan of pleasure escapes my lips as the energy of connection surges, Kundalini style. Orgasm, ecstasy, rapture, given voice in the early morning embrace of a luminous drop of water and the rising sun. Being present makes any mundane moment that you're in pure magic. And I'd love to share this practice with you the way that I learned it. Are you willing to do that? Okay, wonderful. So if it feels safe, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and allow yourself to relax into your seat. Just start by bringing your awareness to your breath. Feeling your lungs and your belly expand as you breathe in and contract as you exhale. And on your next breath, breathe in and feel how that oxygen-rich air enlivens your entire body, spreading out from your lungs down to the ends of your fingers and your toes. Feeling that life as it moves through you. And now just open your awareness to what's present and available in your sensation right now, here in this room. So you can hear the sound of my voice as I'm speaking to you. But there's many other sounds available right now. I can hear the hum of the air system in the background. I can hear the S as I say S over the microphone. I can hear movement, gentle shufflings. So just surrender to all of that. It's not a focus, it's a surrender, opening up. And open yourself more like a flower to the other sensations as well. So you feel your feet on the ground and the tingle in the tips of your fingers and the clothing against your skin, your tongue against the roof of your mouth. The air kissing your cheeks. And as you open up, you may notice that there's a still, quiet place inside all that awareness that's always available to you, no matter where you are, where you go. Just allow yourself to be present in your experience with that awareness. And whenever you're ready, in a moment to open your eyes, do so with a soft focus before you bring your eyes back up to the stage again. So yes, when you're ready, open your eyes. I see the beautiful faces of the people I've known out there and the beautiful faces of the people that I'm just meeting today. And I tossed my speech out. It feels better to just connect with you on this level. For me, this practice has been the seat of everything. It changed my life. Because that truly is magic when we come totally present to the moment. And where that's brought me is it allows me, when I work with people, to truly see who they are and feel who they are. And I may not be able to put that into words sometimes, because sometimes things are ineffable. Words are like labels. But know that when I'm looking at you, I see you. I see your essence. And so I know what my purpose is in this life. I know that my purpose is to remind people to come back to this place of presence again. And I do that in a way with my business. I help women drop down into that space and find or reconnect with their inspiration again and trust it. We do this really weird thing in our culture, which is we try to say, oh, well, what's out there is real, and what's inside of us is not quite real. It's really weird if you think about that. How do we split apart reality? What's going on inside you is just as real as everything that we can touch here on the outside. It's not just your imagination. I talked a little bit about the ego earlier, and I just want to say that the ego is important. I honor it because it's the vehicle in which we take action in this world. But we always need to be aware of what it's doing because it can be a wily, deceitful creature. Anybody experience that? It actually makes us smaller than who we are. And so alignment comes when we take time to be present and to soften. Because it's not the how that's so important, and that's where the ego wants to go, right? It's the what and the why. So I wanted to remind you today to sink back in and realign with your purpose from that quiet place. And I encourage you to use this practice as you go through the day, engaging with other people and listening. So thank you. I'm going to do my final ta-da! I'm the Maura.
Thank you, Maura. So, again, another round of applause for Maura. That was a beautiful gift she just shared with us. And thank you for trusting your intuition and showing us how that's done. Yeah, because you could have stuck to your script, and I'm sure it would have been amazing, but that was a real gift you gave us, so thank you. Yeah.
Are you the star of your life, or do you have a story running it, ruining it? What if you could change that story and it changed your life? Hi, I'm Carolyn C.J. Jones, and I'm delighted to be here today on the Summer Star Series. Be the star of your life by claiming a copy of my free report to see if you have a story that is robbing you of joy. Go to carolyncjjones.com.
CJ, would you like to come on up? The amazing CJ Jones. Ta-da! Let's come to the center. Fabulous. Would you like to ask your question? Say your name and business as well. Thank you for that reminder.
Yes. I'm Carolyn C.J. Jones of Quiet Joy Speaking and Coaching. And my question is, have you forgiven the people who treated you poorly? And if so, how did you do that?
Great question. So yes, but it's not an overnight process. It's step by step. And what I found is holding on to the anger, holding on to the hurt, actually festers and ended up hurting me. And as I was able to release it, and there's a difference between forgiveness and putting myself in a position to allow it again. Those are different things. So forgiveness can still have boundaries around you. So yes, I did. But I can tell you sometimes there are new things that come up, or new wounds, or things that I forgot or didn't recognize that comes up, and I get to release and process, not stuff down, but experience, release, and process and forgive. And sometimes it involves the other person, but a lot of the times it's me in releasing.
It's an awesome freeing feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's more empowered. You step more into your power.
Much more empowered, yes.
So beautiful. Great
Yes.
question. Thank
You
you.
bet. Thank you.
Fairy dust. And I'll take this.
Okay.
You can tell us about your fairy dust.
My fairy dust is blue, like turquoise, and purple. And that's all no special shape, just blue and purple, turquoise and purple.
Any scent?
Lavender,
Okay.
with lavender.
Beautiful. Okay, so do we have our order? Yeah. Let's stand up. Get our fairy dust ready. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, thank you. That was delicious.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Gruyter, and I'm the producer of the Empowered Connections TV channel. And I wanted to personally invite you to come on over, enjoy our amazing shows. We are all about empowering women. We're all about transforming lives. We're empowering men to really step out and be all they can be. We are looking for programming and shows to bring things to the next level. So if you are somebody that feels a show birthing within you, you have a calling to bring your show to life and touch the world, please reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. We are launching new programs and shows every week, every month, because we're going to change the world. I look forward to talking to you.